Yo, what's up? What's going on? It's your man Ken Billions. What's up with y'all? This is Man Sharpens Man. Today I'm talking about not making your vice your lifestyle. And Man Sharpens Man. If you've seen me do these before, then you know it's a ministry for guys. And guys need it. I believe so. I believe guys need ministry in order to be sharp. And I just feel like it's a lot of, it's a lot of ministry for women. Not that much ministry for guys outside of sports, you know what I'm saying? A lot of games and a lot of play. But when it comes to real talk, a lot of times there's no place that guys can go and receive that. So this is why I do these Man Sharpens Man, and because ministry is important. It's the word that helps us grow. It's the word that helps us evolve. Just like a plant needs sunlight and water, man needs information and knowledge in order to grow, in order to develop, and in order to be something more and be something different. So this is Man Sharpens Man, and it's a ministry for men, young boys, your uncles, anybody that is on the path of man. It's super hard though. It's very difficult. You bump your head. There's really not a manual. The only manual you can use is your compass on the hero's journey that you go on. But man, is super hard, and you always on Front Street, and everything you do is, it's magnified because you are a man. And so today I'm talking about not to make your vice your lifestyle, and it's usually not the government that ruins man. It's not nature, the environment that ruins man. It's not peers. It's not family. It's not none of those things that ruin man. The things that ruin man is his own doing oftentimes. We live in a time where you can make an excuse as to why your life turns out the way it did. Maybe you wasn't born in the right family. Maybe your mother didn't hug you enough. Maybe your dad didn't leave enough inheritance. Maybe you was born in the wrong area, so you think. And there was a lot of shooting, or it was a lot of poverty, or not a lot of opportunities for economic growth. Whatever the reason, we live in a time where you can make a claim that the reason your life is not the way that you would like it to be is because of things outside of you. You can make that argument, but I think that's a mistake to make that argument because you give up a lot of power. And I believe in the hero's journey and the steps to man. The only way you can really graduate is if you got to be responsible for everything that happens around you. If you're there, and whether it goes up or goes down, you got to raise your hand and own that. And when you do that, you take power away from everything. Does it hurt? Hell yeah. It's like a pie in your face, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I was wrong, I miscalculated, or I didn't make a decision, or I did absolutely nothing when it was my time to stand up, whatever. But we live in that time, and I think that handicaps, guys, because we'll have women cape for us, the system, or, over love us and over hug us, and, we'll go to histrionics and say, look what happened in the 20s, or look what happened. It doesn't matter, yo. I always say that the mystery is way more important than the history. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not with that, though. But I was with that. So I understand why people would play the blame game, or why people would, study victim science. I get it. It's very comforting. You can duck and hide. It's safety. It's cover. It's a rest haven. But it stops your development, and it stops you from moving forward, right? So I say, you know what, raise your hand, deal with it, whatever happens, you know what, you put it on your shoulders, and, win or fall with the results betting on you. So, but it's not, none of those things that ruin man, is we ruin ourselves, and we usually ruin ourselves in our vices. Every guy got a different vice, okay? And the thing about it is, the interesting thing about these vices, when we engage in it, that's who we really are. That's what people got it twisted, is when your shadow reveals itself, people may not like how it looks. You might not even like how it looks, but that's who you really are under domestication and under religion and under government. These things was created to solve that problem in man. This is why they have religion, is to solve the shadow element of man. That's it. This is the purpose of Christianity or Islam or the Torah or, a lot of Eastern philosophy. What's it for, right? It's to solve the shadow portion of man that comes out. Because that shadow portion is unruly. It can't be ruled. And believe it or not, it's where our highest form of creativity is. So we do things to wake up that shadow. Sometimes it's drugs. Sometimes it's gambling. Sometimes it's crime. Whatever the vice is, it's what comes from it is our shadow. Now, the thing about it is you actually need to do that every now and then because you need balance. You need you need a good mixture of both. You can't be all good at the same time. And life is not even about being good. Okay, life is about being fair. You don't want to try to be good, because in your pursuit of trying to be a good person, it's going to come at your expense, because it's to be good is to be stupid, because you're going to go in every situation and judge it the same and apply the same math for every situation when each situation is different. You can't be the same person in every situation. There's philosophies for situations that you use to determine the best outcome, and sometimes those best outcome, it might physically make the group feel pain, but that's the best decision in the long run. In that situation, you won't be good because why? The people feel pain. But that decision is the best decision within that circumstance to elevate the group at a later date. You understand? So it's not about being a good person. It's about being a fair person. Fair person. All right? Don't be good or bad. Be just fair in each situation. Okay? So, but the vice is important because it's important that we know what we're capable of. We need to be able to see ourselves, and with the pressure of being husbands and family men and going to work every day, that's super pressure every single day, because people tell you what you're supposed to do. They put it on your shoulders and say, you know what, a man is supposed to do this and that. Give up your body. You are very disposable. And after we're done with your body, there's another guy that could come right up and take your place. And after we're done with him, they take your place. When you look at all the world wars, they involve young guys, fighting politicians' wars, monarchies' wars, kings' wars, right? Very important people that behind the scenes, the hidden hand, these young guys got to fight those wars, right? And there's no awards for that, right? So a guy in society is supposed to sacrifice his body, and it really doesn't get nothing in return for real. Maybe some ass. I guess that's a reward, right? And that's his portion in life. That, you know what, if you risk your life and risk your body, I'll give you some vagina. I mean, to me, that's a bad trade-off, because it doesn't mean anything, because here comes the next guy. He's disposable too. And this guy's disposable too. With that comes immense pressure. Hey, you're supposed to have money. All right, how you going to get it? Are you going to get it by hook, or are you going to get it by crook, right? If you don't got a father that leaves you something, or an uncle that leaves you something, how you going to get some money? You know what I mean? You going to kiss ass, or you going to be militant? What's going to be your approach to get money? Right? A lot of people get lucky. What's going to be your approach? Okay, you got that. You need there's a pressure put on you to take care of other people before you take care of yourself. Now, with all these social pressures, it is to be what is considered a man, comes an appetite for disaster, because this guy is trying to be responsible every single day and do the right thing, so he's told, right? And be this father and be this husband and be all that, right? He has to be all these things for everybody. Nothing for himself, though. He has to be all these things for everybody. Now you start seeing deviancy show up. Now you start seeing these demons, so-called demons, start showing up because that pressure is putting so much on the other side because that other side never lives, right? So now the guy, when he goes into his vice, he makes the vice a lifestyle instead of a moment, okay? That, you know, a guy like David Goggins talks about going to the dark side, right? Now, you don't necessarily have to go to drugs or crime or none of that to experience your shadow. You can experience your shadow by pushing yourself to extreme limits, whether that's physically, work related, discipline, study. It's basically, you know what, when your body wants to quit, you are channeling something to push that spirit of lazy and that spirit of rebellion. You pushing it down in order to achieve something. There's ways that you could go to the dark side and experience your shadow. Most people do it with drugs. Most people do it with crime. Most people do it with deviancy. There's another way to do it. It's just through super focus and super intensity and basically going to a place that other people are scared to go. And I'm talking about in terms of production. So for yourself though, to neutralize or to balance the shadow, we need the shadow, but to balance the shadow is guys have to begin to produce things that they themselves admire. Okay, because again, a lot of pressure is put on guys to, you know what, you got to take care of your family, and if you make one, yeah, that's a responsibility, but that's not your purpose in life. Okay, so when people tell you, first of all, this is ministry for men. So I have to say this. Don't allow a female to tell you what a man is, right? Don't allow someone of the opposite gender to tell you what you are supposed to do, because your story is written in the stars. So who the hell is she to tell you who you are, okay? That's your job, all right? You're supposed to do what you're designed to do, all right? So that pressure of what a man is, that's disposable body talk. There's necessarily no value for you're not special, okay? It's about what your hands can give others. And if you get to the place of servitude after you serve yourself first, then that's great, because what is there else to do? You should experience everything in this life, even servitude. But before you get to servitude, you must be selfish, though. All right, and a good form of self-nurturing is to open up that shadow portion of you. And when you do it, hopefully in a controlled environment. I'm not going to tell you what's the best way to go about your shadow, whether that's through climbing Mount Everest or doing some drugs. Each guy is different. I will never tell a guy what he should live and die for. Only thing I'm going to tell you is whatever you do with that shadow, as long as you can look yourself in the mirror, as long as you're good with yourself, then that's what it is. But I can't tell you what you should live or die for or what you should pick. I'm not my brother's keeper. I'm responsible for me, you responsible for you. And the best thing that I can do for you is take care of me. That's the best thing I can do. And the best thing you could do is to keep yourself. And if you keep yourself, that's a favor to me. And if I keep myself, that's a favor to you. And that means I'm going to only call upon you in wartime, in a serious situation, because I man my turf, you man your turf. You're not my keeper, I'm not your keeper, right? So I don't want to tell you what you should do or what you shouldn't do. But when you go to experience your shadow, as long as you can look at yourself in the mirror and you're good with what you see, you ain't tripping, then that's great. I think that's a success. But there's ways that you could go about that. And I do think each guy should experience all things in his nature, and don't allow society to position you into a disposable body. And you spend your whole life being a flunky for everybody, for girls, and having a bunch of kids, and everybody got you on the rat race, you know what I mean? And you actually never experience yourself. And by the time you get the aha moment, it's too late for you now. Okay, so don't go out like that. Don't go out like men of yesteryear, just giving up their bodies for nothing, at all. You know what I mean? And I believe a lot of those people get caught in the life and death cycle because they didn't experience they real purpose. Okay, I do believe there are people that their purpose is to serve others. However, that's not balanced. So what I say is your purpose can be to serve others, but you have to serve yourself first. So you know what it's like. Okay, so you don't deny yourself. As you serve others, you'll do it with a smile on your face because you have a full stomach and there's no stone left unturned, and you made everywhere your home. The earth was your turf, right? So go do your shadow, however that looks. Focus on you, and and take the time, to take your time serious and take yourself serious, and minister to yourself. But everything you need to find out is in that shadow, and you gotta let it live the best and most cost-effective way without killing yourself. But you need to see who you are, and you're gonna see who you are in that dark area that you try to avoid, and it's your job to go there and to calm that monster, know how to use that monster for creative purposes and genius, but don't make that a lifestyle, okay? Don't make that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Don't make your shadow your lifestyle. Make your shadow a moment. And when you exhaust the moment, you go back to normalcy. That's the balance. Okay, I heard something one time and it was saying, it was giving an example of Batman and Superman. And what they said was, who is the real them? Is Clark Kent or Superman? Which one of them is the real person? Bruce Wayne and Batman, which one of them is the real person? And the person, well, I forgot who was saying it, and it was like, Superman is the real person, and Batman, especially Batman, is the real person. It's that other thing, right? But unfortunately, we live in a world of so-called morality and government and law and things like that. Therefore, it's not in your best interest to live out your shadow every single day. But what you can do is you schedule times throughout the year that you let that out, whatever that is. Each guy is different, again, and they have a different appetite and need different things. So however you address that, that's your thing. But you need moments to where you let that mask out and you feed and you let that out and you live and you open it up. And then you go so hard, when you exhaust it, you put it back in the safe, you lock it, and you throw away the key. And you make it hard for you to find, because that's not something you want to do all the time. But it needs to be done, though. So you schedule it, and you have it. You have it controlled. You police it, and you put it where it needs to be. And then when it's over, man, you leave it there. Again, you lock it away, you tuck it, and you get rid of it. And then Monday, you go back to the regular. You go back to what you've been doing, and that's that. And that's how you ease that pressure off. And now you can go into the workplace, you can go into the household, you can go into the community and do exactly what they need you to do, because you served yourself. It's calculated hedonism, okay? And it's very important, because if not, you'll bust and you'll crack and you'll fold under pressure, right? You want to experience all things, and if your mind goes there, experience it, or else your mind wouldn't have went there. And so control your mind. If you're not ready to do it, control your mind, okay? So yeah, and that's ministry for men, and that's don't make your vice your shadow. And yeah, it's a very important thing, especially guys in high intense environments in terms of business or politics or coaching or life or this community. It's a lot of pressure, and a lot of people need you for something, and they're taking, but they're not depositing anything. And it's in those moments where you got to be like, you know what, pause, time out. I need to get what I need. I'll be right back. And because if you don't, you're going to fail. All right. So yeah, that's Ken Billions. That's Ministry for Men. I like value for value. So you see that Cash App, go ahead and tip something. You know what I mean? Put something in my tip jar. And again, go check out KenBillions.com. It's a lot of dope stuff on there. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, man. And that's Man Sharpens Man. All right, peace.